Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show. Brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this Thursday, working towards the weekend. Jordan Kitchens, Cassie Spazzali back there on the ones and twos. Thanks for hanging out with us. LSU beats Ole Miss in double overtime. We'll talk about it. Plus, an Instagram post that has made some waves here in Baton Rouge. We'll talk about that. Joe Healy from D1 Baseball's SEC Extra Team is here at 1:30. Will Clapp has hung him up. We'll discuss that at the end of the hour. How's LSU going to fare at the Combine? I've got a thought on all 11 players that are going to be in Indianapolis over the course of the next 5 days. Chris Blair, voice of the Tigers at 2:15. So plenty to do. We're brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
LSU baseball got a day off yesterday. They probably earned a day off. Played 8 games in 10 days to crank up the season, and you're about to have a wraparound week where you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Wednesday. So a lot of action in the first 3 weeks of the season, as there always is. You want to get as many guys at bats as you can. You want to get as many guys, as many innings as you can, and that means you got to play a lot of games. And Jay Johnson scheduled it that way, and they certainly do. So LSU took the day off yesterday after the disappointing loss to McNeese, and now they'll set their sights on the weekend to come. They'll play Dartmouth on Friday and Sunday. They'll play Northeastern on Saturday and Monday. Neither of those teams especially good, but McNeese is not great either, and LSU didn't play very well on Tuesday. So the goal for LSU is to take care of their own business over the weekend. Jay Johnson just met with the media and had a couple things to say. I want to revisit some sound from after the game on Tuesday to put some context for some of the things he said today. That starts with what he said about Cade Arambidi on Tuesday after that game went final against McNeese. Remember, Arambidi was taken out of that game for Omar Cerna in the middle.
You guys went to Omar there in the 5th inning. Anything going on with Cade there?
He hurt his foot. He said he couldn't play anymore, and I don't know anything else other than that.
Okay, quick answer. And look, Jay Johnson can be a little coy with injuries. We know this. I'm starting to speak Jay pretty well, and at that point, he said he hurt his foot. I take him at his word on that, and it sounds like that's correct. Jay Johnson was asked now 2 days later, what about the foot? And Jay Johnson said Cade Arambidi is going to be just fine. That's a big deal. Big deal. I mean, you fear the worst in that instance. I saw John Eads from WAFB put a post up on Twitter of the play where Arambidi hurt himself on Tuesday. It is a foul ball, and he's in his crouch, and it hits him right on the foot. And he kind of comes up out of his crouch and walks it off a little bit, and he was able to stay in the game for a little bit longer, but eventually was taken out in the next half inning. And so, if it's just a bruise, who cares? If he's just going to be back on Friday, who cares? No big deal. I mean, easy for me to say. My foot didn't get hit with a foul ball or a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, but not a story. The only story here is if he broke his foot. Like, that would be the story, and he did not break his foot. If he had broken his foot, that'd be a big deal, because when you look at LSU positionally, catcher is a spot you would take a rather significant step back if you were to lose your starter. And you don't want that to happen. Omar Cerna is going to be a heck of a player at LSU, and he may have some big moments this year. They're going to play him some. He's got prodigious power. He's got a really good arm, but as far as the bat goes, he's not necessarily ready right this second to go face SEC arms. And I think Cade Arambidi is. I don't know that because Cade Arambidi hasn't played a full SEC season, but he led LSU in hitting in the fall, and they're all SEC pitchers, and he's off to a ridiculous start early on when you compare him to his peers facing lesser pitching. So that's a guy you've got to have in the lineup, and it appears LSU will have him for the weekend. My guess is he catches 2 games this weekend and Cerna catches 2 games this weekend, and they will probably do that, not based on the opposing pitcher. They'll probably do that based on LSU's pitcher. Remember, Jay Johnson and Josh Jordan like to match up catchers and pitchers to keep everybody as comfortable as possible. And last year, Cade Arambidi jumped in and caught Anthony Ianson a good bit down the stretch. So great news that LSU will get Cade Arambidi back. As far as Chris Stanfield goes, This one, I'm kind of scratching my head on a little bit in like the least curious way. If I was like full on tinfoil hat conspiracy theory, that's a 10, and not even aware is a 0. I'm like a 2 or a 3 here, so this is not extreme in any way. But I saw the Chris Stanfield play when Jake Brown hit a rocket down the first base line. The first baseman snared it, threw it to the plate. Stanfield slid in, trying to beat the play, slid into the catcher really hard. And I, in the press box on that Saturday, went, oh, like that looked like the potential for an injury. And Stanfield got up and he had the oven mitt on his right hand and he kind of shook it off and kind of walked slowly to the dugout. And like, it certainly wasn't an instance where Chris Stanfield was down for 5 minutes. It wasn't an instance where they had to get Isaac Tahir, the trainer, out there to look at him. It had nothing to do with any of that. But it just, you saw the play, it didn't look great. And Jay Johnson has kind of told us, well, they're swelling, the swelling's gone down. I think he can play. There was massive swelling. Now he's grabbing a bat. And Jay Johnson said today, on Thursday, for a 4-game week coming up, that Stanfield probably won't hit this week. I want to be as clear as I can possibly be on this take here so that no one misunderstands at all. It just feels like 2 full weeks is a long time for a bruised hand. Doesn't it? Like, that's a little paranoid, but like you jam a finger or like you have a bruise on the top of your hand, you're 22 years old, college athlete, I would think you'd be back out there quicker than that. That said, every time Jay Johnson talks, he says the swelling's getting better. He grabbed a bat. He's swinging bats. Like, I don't think Chris Stanfield broke his hand. I don't think that's true. I'm also not 100% married to everything Jay Johnson says in a press conference. And to be very clear on top of this, I don't care if Jay Johnson doesn't tell the truth. If Chris Stanfield broke his hand and Jay Johnson doesn't want Oklahoma or Vanderbilt in the first 2 weekends to know he had a broken hand, I'm fine with that. Don't tell us. Do whatever you got to do. Run your program. But the analyst in me who's here to talk to you about the LSU team is looking at this going, this guy's going to miss 1 weekend and then 2 full weeks because he kind of bruised his hand a little bit? Like, that's seems like a lot. But what it's done, and this is the bigger point here than how's Chris Stanfield feel today. The bigger point is Stanfield is a 3-year proven veteran in this lineup. You know, you put him out there in an SEC 30-game regular season set, he's going to hit somewhere in the neighborhood of 280. He's going to hit 6, 7, 8 doubles. He hit more than that last year and a better average than that last year. He's going to steal a couple bases, and he's going to play great defense in center field or left field. You know what Chris Stanfield has got to be. There's not a bunch of development that needs to go on with Chris Stanfield from Omaha last year to right now. He is what he is as a college player, and it's really good. And so you want him back in the lineup, but you're not necessarily stunting his development, missing at bats, missing practice time. He'll get in the swing of things. When he gets in the swing of things, he'll be fine. What this has done is it has created at bats in this log jam. Because Seth Dardar is commanding at bats at second base. Jay Johnson wants to get Tanner Reeves at bats, so he's moved him out to left field. Jay Johnson wants to get Braden Simpson at bats, but Dardar's probably a better defender, so Dardar plays second, and he's played Simpson out in left field. And all the while, you're still looking for opportunities to get Mason Braun involved, and he's a corner outfielder, so he can go play in left field. He can go play in right field if Jake Brown moves. You're allowing for that logjam of Dardar, of Simpson, of Braun, of Reeves to play a little bit. And I would also lump Omar Cerna into that group and John Pearson into that group because you're talking about DH as well. So this is not the worst thing in the world that Chris Stanfield is missing some time. If he misses 4 more games, then that stinks for him. I'm sure he wants to play. I don't know that it'll cost LSU a game. And what it is doing is getting some more guys some reps. Because guess what? And I'm going to talk to some few folks about this over the weekend, and we'll certainly talk to Glenn and Koki next week about some of it. But, like, there's not enough playing time for everyone to get a lot of at-bats. Like the group I just mentioned, Dardar, Simpson, Pearson, Braun, Cerna, and Reeves, like that group, there's just not enough at-bats because if you come back and Dardar's got to play second and Stanfield comes back, all I've got left is DH. That's it. And I've got like 4 or 5 guys that want at-bats. So if this is a 3-week deal in the pre-conference where Chris Stanfield can't start and can't play, and it's allowed for, I guess I can count, opening weekend was Sunday, and then you played Monday, and then you played Wednesday, and then you had 3 over there in Jacksonville, and then you had 1 midweek, and then you got 4 coming up this week, so that's 11, and then you got 1 more ULL. That's like 12 games that you've allowed those guys to share at bats. And I think that's going to be a positive in cultivating a little bit of depth on this team. Do I want Chris Stanfield back? Absolutely. Plus defender, plus runner, able to handle SEC velocity, played in huge games, huge hits in Omaha, capable of sacrifice bunting, like big hit in the super regional. Like, yes, I want him in the game. I want him in the lineup. But for right now, if we can use February and early March to get some other guys some reps so I can see what I have in Tanner Reeves, so I can see what I have in Braden Simpson, so I can get some guys some reps in the outfield in case there's an injury further on down the line, and I can understand what I'm trying to do here, I'll take it. I'm trying to see the silver lining here in a bit of a crummy situation for Stanfield, who came back to play this year and is missing some time, and who knows what the actual injury is. I'll take Jay at his word for right now and say, hey, it's a bone bruise there on the hand, and he'll be back before SEC play. But this has been a positive time for cultivating depth, getting a lot of guys some at-bats, and so you'll see a lot more over the next 4 days, even 6 days, when you coop in the Louisiana Lafayette game coming up on Wednesday of next week. So that's a look at LSU baseball. We'll talk some baseball with Joe Healy coming up in 15 minutes. Our Thursday shows are brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. When we come back, 1, LSU won a basketball game last night. Not a huge story, but we'll talk about it. And 2, a pretty loud voice in Baton Rouge spoke about it after the game. We'll talk about that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. HighlandIG.com is the website. I tell you about property and casualty just about every day with the Highland Insurance Group, and they're happy to do that. If you're a business looking for your commercial insurance program and you want a second set of eyes on it, the Highland Insurance Group is happy to help. But also, they do group and employee benefits. And if you're a business who is looking at that benefits renewal and going, this is just untenable. We keep getting these price hikes, It's hurting our bottom line. Well, that's happening to a lot of folks around South Louisiana. And the Highland Insurance Group has gotten some phone calls about it. And I can't guarantee you that they're going to come in and undercut that price, but I can guarantee you they can give you a second option. And that second option may be better. And you know how important those benefits are to your employees. It's important to get people in the door. It's important to keep talent in your organization with your benefits. So talk to the Howard Insurance Group, Jonathan Carbo and his team. Tell them, hey, I'm looking for property and casualty. Hey, I'm looking for benefits or a second eye on either one, and they're happy to do it. It's the Howard Insurance Group. They're online at HighlandIG.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Parrish, we bring the same commitment to your home that champions bring to the game.
Do business with someone you know.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
March Madness is heading to Las Vegas, and LouisianaSports.net is sending one of you plus a friend with it. We're giving away a 3-night Las Vegas getaway from Wednesday, March 18th through Saturday, March 21st. Just in time to watch all the madness. Hotel stay and flights are covered. All you have to do to enter is head to LouisianaSports.net, click the March Madness getaway link, sign up now before our March Madness Pick'em launches, get yourself entered, and you could be watching the tournament from Las Vegas instead of your couch. Winners will be announced Monday, March 2nd.
I was talking to my guy Sean Sagrera earlier today. Sagrera Farms, they bring you our Thursday shows each and every week. He sent me some pictures, even a video of some steaks that they cut up this week, and you're talking 18.29 on the IMF scale. You realize the threshold for prime is 9. So you're double the threshold for prime. Incredible, incredible product that they've got. And right now he tells me they're looking at 2029 right now. Why are they looking at 2029? Because every single cow on that farm is a 3-year journey. And he's got folks driving in from all over the country to, 1, buy his product, and 2, see what it is he's doing. He's like, well, there's no real secret. Like, it's just genetics. The secret, and I use air quote, is genetics. It's not the diets you feed the cows. It's not the land you're on. The secret is genetics. And Sean has unlocked that, and it's just been a steady process over the years. And the result is 18.29 on the IMF score. So look, if you want some of the best beef in the country in your freezer, as grilling season is upon us here shortly, spring's coming, summer's coming, you're going to want steaks on the grill, you want burgers on the grill, flank steaks. Talk to Sean. Call up Sean and say, hey, I want to come out to the farm. His number is 225-719-1723. That's 719-1723. And go see the operation. Go see the product and bring it home. Have some of the best steaks you will have had in your life. And they come from just north of Baton Rouge in Ethel at Sagrera Farms. All right, 2 pieces to the story on this basketball deal from last night. The first piece is that LSU won a basketball game. And I know that doesn't matter for the 2026 postseason hopes. It doesn't, because they're not making the postseason. They've won 3 league games. But I feel good for the players. Players have endured a lot of losses. It's not fun Just because you lose a lot doesn't mean you get to sleep in. You don't go to morning workout or go to classes, fly, stay in the hotels, get back real late nights, have to get up for class the next morning, workouts. Like, it's a grind, and they lose a lot. So when they win, I'm happy for them. I think it's great. Last night, they were down the majority of that game, and they fought and scrapped and clawed to get it back to overtime. I mean, you look at the end of this game, and I was looking at the second half box earlier. I mean, they're down 7 with 5:36 to go. And Rashad King hits a 3. Nwoku goes to the line and makes a couple. He went back to the line, made a couple. And then Rashad King hits 2 free throws late to tie the game with 15 seconds left. And LSU played really good defense to get basically 2 stops on Ole Miss because Robert Miller blocked it out of bounds. And then Ole Miss got to re-inbound it, and they got into the corner and missed a 3. So you get to overtime, and you're fighting, scrapping, clawing, and looks like you're in trouble because you go down 4 quickly. But you get a couple of buckets, and you tie things up with 1:09 to go, and then they make 2 free throws. Pablo Tamba, 36 seconds to go, gets to the rim, lays one in, and now you got to play defense. And they did. They played great defense. It looked like they got to stop, and they were going to get the ball back, and Robert Miller had it, got knocked away, and Ole Miss, great hustle play, saved it, called timeout, and got to draw one more up. And LSU played great defense and staved them off. And then LSU really asserted itself in the second overtime. I can't go any further without talking about Max McKinnon, who was just brilliant in the game. He made 5 threes in the first half, carried LSU to the locker room, essentially, when they weren't playing any defense at all. Ole Miss was scoring at will, and McKinnon was knocking down shots. And he wasn't great in the second half, but in overtime, he was brilliant. And he finished the game with 34 points. Made some threes, was getting to the rim, making some below the rim running shots, and was just awesome in the game. Shout out to Jalen Reese, who played 47 minutes in this game, had 10 assists and 1 turnover. Just great stuff from him as well. He was plus 12 in the game. Nwoku fouled out, and Rob Miller had to play more. They played tough. They played gritty. They played a team that's lost 10 games in a row in the league. Okay, so I'm not putting them in the tournament. I'm not retiring anybody's jersey. But a nice job by the team to get a 106-99 win on the road at Ole Miss. And that's where we'll kind of stop with that game, right? Good hustle, good effort, good grit, good determination, way to close it out. Awesome job, McKinnon. You win the game. Super. That's not really a huge story, okay? Moving to 3-11 in the league? Not a huge story. But 3-12, I think. Yeah, there's 3 games left. 3-12 in the league. Not a huge story. But after the game, E.J. Kuiper, who is the president and CEO of FMOL Health, LSU's championship health partner, comes on and says, look, I think LSU should give Matt McMahon a chance next year. And you might say, well, who cares what some guy at a hospital says? I'll read you the Instagram post verbatim. LSU men's basketball beats Ole Miss in Oxford. Matt McMahon is a good coach, took over a program that was in shambles and had to deal with key injuries all season long. He deserves another chance. Just a guy that runs a hospital in Baton Rouge. Or the president and CEO of a partner of LSU who also was on the 6-man search committee for LSU's football coach. That's a guy who knows people and has a voice. Now, I can't tell you to what degree E.J. Kuiper has a voice. LSU is not going around to all of its sponsors and asking who should coach the softball team and who should coach the baseball team and who should coach the women's basketball team and who should coach the track team. That's obviously not how things work. But to suggest that this is just a nothing burger, I think, would be waving off something that you probably shouldn't. LSU trusted him enough to bring him into the fold when they were looking for a football coach. And that's just fact. That's a fact. All of that's factual. Here is where I start to speculate, okay? Speculation by Hunt, not fact. He was on the search committee? Fact. He runs the hospital? Fact. The hospital's partnered with LSU? Fact. Here comes Hunt speculation. This is a guy who's in business. This is a guy who runs a multi-billion-dollar health system. This is a guy who deals in large sums of money and massive budgets. And LSU's athletic budget is massive. LSU's expenses and revenues are massive. And to me, because this guy is not from Louisiana, he's not even born and raised in the United States. Now, he's been here a long time. He lives here, and he's a Baton Rouge resident now, but he spent time in Omaha, and he's a guy that's now here in Baton Rouge. So he's not like you and me that grew up as a 3-year-old emotional LSU fan. This is a guy who sees this through the eyes of a business person. Again, I'm speculating, but it seems reasonable, right? And the business side of this is it's expensive to fire a basketball coach. It's really expensive to fire Brian Kelly. It's really expensive to pay athletes $21, $22 million a year. I'm just connecting dots here as to why he may think that it's a good idea not to move on from Matt McMahon. Now, maybe he's got a relationship with Matt McMahon. He likes Matt McMahon a lot. He's a partner of LSU's. Matt McMahon's a coach at LSU. Perhaps he's just sticking up for a guy that he's got a great relationship with. That could be too. That's also complete speculation. What's beyond speculation is looking at the wins and losses in Matt McMahon's tenure here. The first season was awful because the program had been gutted, and the second season was mediocre, and the third season was awful, and the fourth season has been, to this point, awful. Part of that is injury. Part of that is the strength of the league. Part of that is poor recruiting. Part of that is poor development. Part of that is some bad luck. Part of that's losing some close games. There's a pie to go around, a big pie to go around here in terms of what the issue is. But the record at the end of the day for Matt McMahon is not very good. So ultimately, this comes down to, do you think it can get better? Do you want to spend the money? Do you think this is rock bottom? Do you care about the men's basketball program drastically being different? And who's the best person to do that moving forward? I know how the LSU basketball fan feels. I hear you every day. I know how you feel. But you can't shoo away this Instagram post. You can't. We wrote about it at LouisianaSports.net. This is someone who was in the arena during the Brian Kelly, Lane Kiffin situation. And though basketball is a smaller deal here, on a smaller scale, this is kind of some of the same. Do you feel like you need to move on? Do you feel like you can get a new coach? Do you feel like this is financially doable in the new climate? All of that is worth discussion. And it's a tough part of my job here because as I look at it, I don't know what the appetite is for spending a bunch of cash. I don't know what the care level is with the important boosters on basketball. I don't know how involved DJ Kuiper is in this. I don't know if it's 0 or 50% or 2%. I just know what he put on Instagram. So I don't believe in my heart of hearts that the next 3 games are going to matter for LSU in terms of the future of the program. I think more so than these 3 games, it's the total body of work for Matt McMahon, and it's the financial side of it. And neither of those 2 things have anything to do with the last 3 games. You can win them all, and you're not in the tournament for 4 years in a row. You can lose them all, and you're not in the tournament for 4 years in a row. You can win them all, and there's no guarantee any of these guys are back next year. You can lose them all. There's no guarantee any of these guys are back next year. I think the decision on LSU's basketball future has likely already been made in discussion. It's either we don't want to spend the money, we've got what we think is a pretty good coach, and he may figure it out here, but in the event that he doesn't, we'll trim the buyout down. Or it's, yeah, we got to move on, but we can't for financials. Or it's, we got to move on, we're moving on. And I don't know ultimately how many people are in on that discussion. I know what the athletic director said. LSU needs to be in the tournament, and you're not going to the tournament. But I also know what one of the guys on the search committee said on Instagram today. So we'll see. That's a look at LSU hoops to this point. We'll step aside. Joe Healy, D1 Baseball's SEC Extra Team, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Be prepared for the next power outage with a Generac home standby generator from the folks over at Boudreaux's Electrical. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. 40 years. They're a local, family-owned company that's been arming South Louisiana with Generac home standby generators for 4 decades. Hurricane blows through, you're at home, your power is going to stay on. Hurricane blows through, you evacuate. When you come back, power's on. I'll tell you the story all the time. Paul Skeens was about to throw his first pitch in the College World Series against Tennessee. Bad afternoon storm blow through. I lost power. Can't have it. No good. Avoid that situation with the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical. They're going to have a full-time Boudreaux's employee come install the generator. They're going to service that generator, maintain that generator, monitor that generator in case something goes wrong so that they can get out and service it. That's just how they handle their business at Boudreaux's Electrical. You can call them at the original location, 985-397-1562. That's 985-397-1562. Or the Gonzales location, 225-300-9389.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
The Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Talk to Chris Blair, voice of the Tigers, coming up in about 40 minutes. Right now, time for Joe Healy, D1 Baseball's SEC Extra Team. You can also find him and Mark Etheridge, the Highway to Hoover podcast, wherever you find your podcast. He's with us on Thursdays. Joe, how are you?
Doing well, Hunt. I appreciate you having me on, as always.
It's our pleasure. Let's go back to last weekend if we can. And I think the first place we probably start is with Tennessee. It's kind of low-hanging fruit here. They lose 2 out of 3 to Kent State. We mentioned Kent State on the air last week because I was impressed with them in South Louisiana opening weekend. What say you about the Flashes going to Knoxville and getting 2 games?
Yeah, obviously a surprising result, not necessarily a shocking one, and I give you credit because I wasn't necessarily thinking of them on the top of the list of potential upset candidates last weekend, and you called it out, and you were right to do so. Look, they've got some talented players. They've Sawyer Solitari is an outfielder they have who's on the Golden Spikes watch list for a reason. Now that being said, you would expect Tennessee to be able to kind of do like LSU did against Kent State, and you get punched in the mouth a little bit, but you end up finding your way out of it. Tennessee just couldn't do that, and I think that what bugs me the most from a Tennessee standpoint, if I'm a Tennessee fan, is that it wasn't just one problem. It wasn't just the bats went silent all weekend, but that was certainly the case in the first 2 games of the series, even the game they won. And it wasn't just that they struggled with throwing strikes and getting outs, but that was the problem in Game 3. It was a combination of both, and that kind of worries me if I'm a Tennessee supporter, just because it kind of suggests that maybe there's just more leaks in this boat than I think they originally thought. And if you made me pick, I think the strike throwing is kind of the one that worries me the most, because I've kind of always had this thought that as much as of a loss as Tony V is, and he's one of the best coaches in college baseball, that, I thought maybe Frank Anderson's departure might actually be the more impactful one, just because you're taking out, arguably the best pitching coach in college baseball and putting a relative unknown in there with Josh Reynolds. So that's the part that I think if I were a Tennessee supporter would bother me the most is just the strike throwing, because those things tend to be harder to fix.
We'll get to the Vols this weekend coming up a little bit later, but a couple more from last weekend. Texas A&M got a sweep. They just didn't hit at all. What do you think about that outing against Penn?
Yeah, I don't know, man, because then they go out yesterday or 2 days ago and score 25 runs on Lamar, and I get that it's Lamar on a Tuesday, but still. Part of this is Chris Hakopian is out with a back issue, and that's a little bit worrisome because he's only played 2 games so far this season. So it's not like it's just like he missed a midweek or he missed 1 game out of 3 over the weekend. Like, he's been gone really since opening weekend, and so that one's a little bit of an issue. They were also without Caden Sorrell, but he's back. So, but still, it's kind of the same thing as Tennessee. It's like, okay, there are reasons why maybe your offense would be a little bit subpar against Penn, but still, you think you'd score more than 3 runs in your first 2 games there. So I'm going to withhold a little bit of judgment and see what they do this weekend in a tournament that we'll talk plenty about, I'm sure. But I have to admit, I'm a little bit weirded out by what their lineup looks like, because I don't know how to square the start of the season with what we saw against Penn.
On the positive side, you got to look at Auburn, who looked like played very, very well. I didn't watch any of it. I'm curious your thoughts on the Tigers, specifically the front end of their rotation, which I always questioned last year with Sam Dutton.
Yeah, and you were right to do so. Like, ultimately, that was one of the things that kind of came undone for them is when they faced off against Coastal Carolina's dudes in that super regional, they didn't have the dudes to match. I mean, there are a lot of reasons they lost that, but that was a big one. And we'll see if this is any better. But I will say the guy they have on Fridays and Jake Marciano is a little bit of an elevated version of that. Now, it's not premium velocity, but it is premium command, and it is premium in terms of the variety of his repertoire. So I don't want to necessarily put too much of a ceiling on what he can do, because again, it looks a little different. It's not Casey Mize, but he has certainly performed as if he's got a shot at least to be Auburn's Friday guy. And I think the sight for sore eyes, though, the way their offense performed last weekend after there were a lot of questions about it, and the good news continues as it sounds like Chris Rimbert is going to be available this weekend, and that's kind of ahead of schedule. So they're going to get a little more help even beyond what they got last weekend, where their bats finally woke up a little bit.
Very good news for Butch Thompson's squad. One more in the rear view, and then we'll go to this coming weekend. It's kind of relevance a little bit here locally. I could sense it in you and Mark's voice in preseason podcasts, and Mark wrote about it a little bit on the dish today. But South Carolina has had 3 losses already, one in pretty brutal fashion to Auburn on Friday, and then last night got down to a school I never heard of in Queens. What is your thought right now on the outlook in Columbia?
It's not good. They're going to have to make a difficult decision here. I'm out of, when he first got the job, I was like, I wanted to be optimistic, and because he won a lot, right? And it's like, he doesn't have to win another national title necessarily. He's just got to kind of get South Carolina back to being a team that you could see getting to Omaha, and it's obviously gone in the other direction. And so it is going to be a difficult decision to make, because I think, if Paul is, and a lot of coaches are wired like this, but, Paul is stubborn and thinking that he could still get this sorted out. And again, I think that's how you have to be wired. But at some point you have to step in, and it just seems like they're out of answers. They tried, to really go heavy in the portal this time around, and that doesn't seem to be taking either. I'm a little bit dubious of some of the staff hires they made around him, as that hasn't worked out. It just feels like all the scenarios in which the negative ramifications of him being head coach have kind of played out. Like, none of the positive scenarios have really seemed to play out. It's all been negative. And so I think we're going to get to the end of the year, and they're going to have to make a difficult choice between, letting him go or trying to convince him that it's his own idea, that it's time to move on. But I think it's pretty clear that that's really all that's left on the table for South Carolina.
It does not look good there in Columbia at all. All right, let's go to Globe Life in Arlington, the number one team in the country, UCLA, who was unbelievable last weekend against TCU. Plays Tennessee on Friday, Texas A&M on Saturday, and Mississippi State on Sunday. That's just about must-see TV. I guess just kind of take it as a whole, if you would, one by one, and kind of what you're looking forward to and how you feel like the SEC teams stack up with as good a team as there is in the country.
Yeah, different things here. Like, I'm interested to see Mississippi State, and do they look the part against the number one team in the country? That's going to be, obviously we'll get plenty of opportunities in SEC play to see State up against really good competition, but this will be our first look at, a team that we have inside the top five that still, there are still some folks that think they have some things to prove there, and I guess I see that. So seeing now, granted it's on Sunday, but I think that makes the matchup a little more interesting, because right now State does have a little bit of a Sunday problem with Charlie Foster in its rotation. UCLA also kind of has a Sunday problem with Landon Stump in its rotation. The first two guys for both teams have been really good. It's just been the third game, so that could be one where it's a little bit of a rock fight. But, teams that are going to win national titles have to be able to win rock fights. LSU in 23 and 25 did a pretty good job of winning its rock fights. So I think that's a big test there. And then I would lump Tennessee and Texas A&M in there together, because I think they're both teams that really need to come out and have a good weekend to show that they're better than what we have them ranked. Are you a top, 20, 25 team, which you could argue that, I don't know, like 12, 13 SEC teams are kind of all in that same bucket? Or do you need to be grouped up a little bit higher with some of the elite teams in the country? I'm not convinced that either of them are there yet. But we're going to get a pretty good look at it, at least when they play UCLA and even Arizona State, because I liked what Arizona State did in the midweek against Oklahoma. That's a talented team that I think has a chance to be really, really good this year. Virginia Tech less so, but with those two games in particular, I'm kind of interested to see how Texas A&M and Tennessee line up.
Last one here, Joe. Appreciate your time here on this Thursday. Vanderbilt, I got to give Tim Corbett a ton of credit. They will just go play anybody, anywhere, anytime in the early season. Couple of tournaments for them, and they'll do that again this weekend. What have you made of Vanderbilt early on? LSU will get them in the SEC opener in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I consider me intrigued. They may have finally hit on the combination that allows them to be a capable offense. I mean, I think they've hit something like 23 home runs as a team so far this season, which is already like a third of what they hit all of last year. Some of that is surely competition. That pace will slow down as they get into SEC competition. But when you consider where they're coming from, I think they'll definitely take it. And I think it's a reminder that, and I'm guilty of this as well. So I'll point the finger at myself, just kind of making assumptions about, hey, this Vanderbilt thing may be slipping. We need to keep an eye out. And there's been evidence of that. But I think we are too quick, myself included, to just assume that, Tim Corbin doesn't have it anymore, that he doesn't understand the game, or that the way he's looking at college baseball right now is incorrect. And, it could just be that they had a few teams where, for whatever reason, the player mix didn't match, or they tried to bring in new assistant coaches and that didn't really take. It could just be that they found the right combination this year. And I think the other thing I'd give Tim Corbin credit for is, like, he does tend to be a little bit of a stubborn guy, but when push comes to shove and he understands that, he's out of options and needs to make a change, he's willing to make a change. And sometimes that's more than you can say for others that are just going to stand by their guns regardless of what happens. And at least through the first, 2+ weeks of the college baseball season, it sure looks like Vanderbilt has figured something out, because the offense is just so much more effective than it's been.
I got to say I'm a little bummed out that Cam Flukie is not pitching this weekend, whether that was against Texas or against Ole Miss. I mean, how do you think Coastal shakes up against those two SEC teams this weekend without their ace, which LSU fans saw real up close and personal in Omaha last year?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough road to hoe because they were never going to be the most offensive team in the world. They weren't last year. It was really going to come down to Cam Fluke and Hayden Johnson, and those are the two guys who are down. So I think they'll probably be competitive because that is a pretty, I hate this cliche, but it's true, like a pretty hard-nosed team. Like that's just the way that whole program is wired. So I think they'll be competitive, but I'm not overly optimistic given that the number one reason for optimism around Coastal Carolina was literally the two pitchers who are going to be missing this weekend. That's obviously not a real positive sign.
It is surely not. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate the time. We'll be listening, and we'll catch you up next week on Thursday.
All right, Hunt. See you, buddy.
Joe Healy, D1 Baseball's SEC Extra Team Highway to Hoover podcast as well. Remind you about Swing Easy Golf Club, swingeasygcbr.com, swingeasygcbr.com. Looking to play some golf this weekend? Don't have a tee time? Well, go play at Swing Easy. Get your group of friends out there. They got comfortable seating areas so you can watch your friends play, laugh at them, do whatever it is that you'd like to do. They'll bring you a bucket of ice-cold beers on ice, and you can crank some tunes. Play Pebble Beach, play Cypress Point, play TPC Sawgrass, Car to Score, or work on your game at the driving range. It's all up to you there on your individual private bays at Swing Easy Golf Club. Great spot to hang out on an evening or on a midday. Like you can go over there at 8 o'clock at night when it's pitch black, play some dark if you want to on a Friday night. Great place to hang out. Segan at Perkins. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, swingeasygcbr.com. When we come back, an LSU Tiger has hung him up. We'll tell you who, and kind of go over his career, which was kind of a dream. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
GoTro's Outdoor Power. GoTro's Outdoor Power. 2 locations. Of course, you can find them on Airline Highway, where that huge inventory of Hustler mowers is. They're also in Gonzales as well. 22 years in the business. The GoTro family's been rocking and rolling. It's not small. It's family owned, but it's not small. You're talking about the largest parts inventory in Louisiana, and they're the largest Hustler inventory in the state by far. So if you're looking for a zero-turn mower and you want to get on by and grab one for your land, or if you're a business that wants to have one on site for your property, if you're just a homeowner that's got a little bit and want to get a new mower, you can do it over at GoTro's Outdoor Power. The customer service you're going to get there is truly second to none. They've got trucks that are running the entire state 8 hours a day. If you need a trailer to deliver your equipment, they can do that. Parts as well. It's just a family feel that you get with an incredibly large inventory as well. So if you're looking for a zero-turn mower as the spring comes and the grass starts growing, GoTro's Outdoor Power needs to be the first call you make. Check them out online at GoTrosOnline.com. That's GoTrosOnline.com. 2 locations, Baton Rouge and Gonzales. It's GoTro's Outdoor Power.
The experts at Hood Dental Care want you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays. A $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care. Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And we always have other great giveaways for new patients. Check out hooddentalcare.com and schedule your appointment today.
At Raising Cane's, we hand batter every chicken finger, mix every cane sauce, butter every Texas toast, stir every slaw, and salt every fry. Because when you do it right, you can taste it in every bite. Raising Cane's chicken fingers, one love.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online, or text or call for free, confidential help now.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Closing up hour one here, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Of course, remind you about Fabry Chevrolet GMC, Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Under new ownership, the Fabry family, they've been at it in Baton Rouge for 35 years, so not new to Baton Rouge, but new to Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Get on by and see them. And look, February is almost over. It's the 26th. So if you're looking for up to $11,000 off a Silverado, go now. If you're looking for 1.9 APR financing on a Silverado, go now. Looking for up to $13,000 off a GMC Sierra? Go now. Looking for 0.0 APR financing on a GMC Sierra? Go now. They also have those SUVs on the lot as well, the Chevy Tahoes, GMC Yukons, GMC Denali's. If you're looking for a new ride in 2026, get on by and see my friends at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can start your buying online, FabryChevrolet.com and FabryChevrolet.com. The entire inventory is there. But I highly suggest you go by and see them, Highway 61 in St. Francisville, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Will Clapp announced over Instagram, I believe it was yesterday evening, that he is hanging him up. And I was thinking about Will Clapp. I met him one time. He was an intern here at 104.5 ESPN. But he started playing just after I left the beat and then was gone from LSU by the time I jumped back into radio. So didn't have any sort of relationship at all with Will Clapp. But I was thinking about a young kid whose dad played at LSU, who goes to high school at Brother Martin. And, like, if you're a junior in high school at Brother Martin who's a really good football player, whose dad played football in college, like, what would you want to do? And I think the answer for most people, not all, but most people is, I'd like to go to LSU, I'd like to play for the Tigers, and I'd like to play for the Saints. And Will Clapp got a scholarship offer to play at LSU, was a 3-year starter at LSU, a 2-time All-SEC player. He was All-SEC at guard and at center at LSU. Was a 7th-round pick of the Saints, made the team, played for the Saints for 3 years, went to the Chargers, went to the Bills, came back to the Saints, and unfortunately had that Liz Frank injury in August of last year that cost him this past season and ultimately ended his playing career. But you got to realize that not every NFL career looks like Drew Brees or looks like Cam Jordan. Not every NFL career looks like a 5-time Pro Bowler who goes to the Hall of Fame. Like, it's hard to make a team for 1 year in the NFL. And Will Clapp did that as a 7th-round pick, beat the odds and did it. Became a starting player for San Diego. And thankfully for him, I think, worked with Kellen Moore in San Diego. So after his time in Buffalo, when Kellen Moore got the head job with the Saints, Kellen Moore called Will Clapp, said, hey, I want you to come be on the team. And he got hurt, so he wasn't on the field, but reading Ross Jackson, LouisianaSports.net, Kellen Moore's had a lot of really glowing things to say about Will Clapp. And, oh, by the way, Jari Evans, former offensive line assistant with the Saints, has moved on. There's a vacancy there. Could Will Clapp, in his hometown, where he's got now a wife and 2 kids, and obviously family there, could he launch a coaching career starting with the Saints right there? Wouldn't that be an incredible thing? I don't know if Will wants to do that or not. I don't know if the Saints will offer him that opportunity or not, but Ross Jackson certainly hinted at it in his retirement piece on LouisianaSports.net, and I think that would be awesome. It's just really cool. I can't put myself in the shoes of many professional athletes. I just don't. That's not my world. But I can put myself into the shoes of a high school athlete in Louisiana. I wore those shoes. Poorly, but I wore them. And the opportunity to play for that college and to play for that professional team, and then maybe get your start in coaching without, traveling the entire country, which is a positive in some respects. And he did go to LA and he did go to Buffalo. But like, being home's home. That's a really cool thing. And so for Will Clapp, an incredible career at Brother Martin, incredible career at LSU, and a damn strong NFL career as well. Not a Pro Bowler, not a 5-year starter. He won't be in any all-decade teams. He's not making the Hall of Fame. But he hung around. He made himself worth it. And now it may pay dividends as he could get into coaching. So congratulations to Will Clapp on an incredible career, high school, college, and professional. A young man from the city of New Orleans doing awesome things in the state of Louisiana. So congrats to him on a fantastic career. And whatever's next for Will Clapp, I'm quite confident he'll be quite successful at it. Heck of a go for the New Orleans native. That's it for hour number one. Quick moving hour number one here. When we come back, let's talk some football. Combine up in Indy. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. LifetimeRoofingLA.com is the website. LifetimeRoofingLA.com. Look, not every issue with a roof means you need a brand new roof. There are probably roofing companies out there that are going to do whatever they can to make the most money they can, and the most money they can make is to sell you a new roof. Let the folks at Lifetime Roofing come over and inspect your roof if you think you may have an issue. They'll take a look. And maybe you need a new roof, and they'll help you with that. And if financing needs to be involved, they got 0% for 18 months. Maybe you don't need a new roof. Maybe you just need a repair. They can do it. Maybe you just need to tune that thing up, fortify your roof. They can help there. Maybe there's no issue at all, and they'll tell you to move on your way. Lifetime Roofing can offer you a lifetime workmanship warranty, 0% financing, and a local company that's going to do what's best for you. Check them out online, LifetimeRoofingLA.com. That's LifetimeRoofingLA.com.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
Parrish Construction and Roofing, trusted by champions, built for Louisiana.
Do business with someone you know.
Parrish Construction and Roofing.
Parrish Construction and Roofing. ParrishBuilt.com.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, Ice Cubes.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Nick DeLuca. The NFL Combine rolls on in Indy. Colts QB Anthony Richardson may not be there for much longer. Former 4th overall pick receiving permission from the team to seek a trade today. Lost a training camp QB competition to Daniel Jones last season. Has started 15 games for the Colts, throwing 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions, dealing with a number of injuries over the last couple of seasons. The Jets and Titans agreeing to a player-for-player trade, with New York sending pass rusher Jermaine Johnson to Tennessee for defensive tackle T'Vondre Sweat. Johnson reunited with now Titans coach Robert Saleh, who coached the Jets when Johnson was picked 26th overall back in 2022, coming off a down year with 3 sacks. Has only 1 year remaining on his contract. Sweat drafted 38th overall back in 2024. In college football, the NCAA Football Oversight Committee is recommending emergency legislation to protect the transfer portal window by issuing penalties for schools and coaches who circumvent the rules. Committee proposed the legislation to penalize schools be instituted
I'll recap
immediately.
My day at jury duty. Plus, could Malik Willis really get $30 million a year in free agency? It's on Sportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
A magic beyond anything you could ever imagine.
You are now listening to the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Locking down the middle of the day.
You really think that's the best idea?
Live from the Raising Cane studio, this is Hunt Palmer.
It's quite a piece of work.
Hour 2, Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Chris Blair in 15 minutes talking Tigers. LSU wins in Oxford last night. We'll also look ahead to the weekend to come on the diamond for Jay Johnson's squad, so he'll be with us in 15 minutes. NFL Combine, which is, I didn't realize this until I looked it up earlier this week. You know, they got folks showing up for the Combine on like Tuesday of this week, kind of eased into things Wednesday, and they don't shut it down until Monday into Tuesday. It's a week long. I think they turned the Combine into a week. The NFL is a marketing machine. It knows how to dominate any month of any year. And you look at the Radio Row they've set up. I mean, I'm paying attention to ESPN Chicago now every single day just because I'm trying to get Cubs news out of Arizona. The whole station packed up and went to Indy. They're watching guys running 140s. The Bears need to go back to being 3-14 is what I'm saying. I need more Cubs content out of them, less Caleb Williams, less Ben Johnson. That's killing me out of Chicago. But I'm here to talk about some of the LSU guys because we've talked about some baseball on the show today. And I want to talk about what's most important to me from the outside for these LSU guys this week in Indianapolis. There are 11 Tigers that are making the trip up there. So I kind of tick them off one by one and tell you what I think is the most important thing. So Garrett Nussmeier's first here, right? Quarterback, you know the story. I think the most important thing for Garrett Nussmeier in this process is going to be the interview process and the whiteboard. That's what I think. I think he put to bed some of the injury stuff at the Senior Bowl when he recorded the highest velocity of any quarterback and the deepest pass of any quarterback. He showed, hey, my arm is back in Mobile, and that's great. So now the question is, what does he say and what can he draw up on the whiteboard? And I think, having grown up in that football household with his dad and having been in college for 5 years and having played for various different offensive coordinators and been in different systems, I would think he would be really good on the whiteboard at drawing some things up. And if you don't think Garrett Nussmeier is a franchise quarterback right now, I don't disagree with you completely on that. I'd like to see him get a chance, but maybe not. But how valuable is it to have a backup quarterback who knows what to do, who doesn't need all these reps to learn the system and understand if they're thrust into action, what they need to do? You don't want to have to teach that to a backup quarterback because they're not going to get a lot of reps in practice. Garrett Nussmeier should be really good at that. And all he's got to do is wow one team. And, hey, if some of his answers in the in the interview session are good too. That's a positive. So to me, it's not that he's throwing, if he is or isn't. He's not going to run a fast 40 time. He's not going to be 6'4". Like, he is who he is. His best attribute, I think, and the best thing he can show off this weekend is his interview presence and the whiteboard. Move on to Aaron Anderson at wide receiver. To me, the most important thing Aaron Anderson will do this weekend is the medical. Because he got hurt at Alabama, and then he came back, and he played at LSU for a couple of years and was really productive in 2024, but he was hurt all of 2025. Aaron Anderson's not going to measure tall because he's not tall. I don't even think he's going to run a super fast 40 time. I never thought of Aaron Anderson as just complete burner. He is fast. That slant he takes to the house against Texas A&M 2 years ago showed some speed, and he ran a kickoff back, which shows some speed. He's not slow, but he's not going to run 4.32. But I think the medical, if that's clean and he's healthy, and you can put that together with the tape from 2024, the production from 2024, and I listened to Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn talk about his route running and his feel for being open, and that stuff's going to pop on tape. They need to know that he's healthy because he missed too much time in college for them not to worry about that. Hopefully, that's the case for Aaron. I lumped in Barian Brown and Chris Hilton in the next portion of this, and you can obviously understand why. Just let him run the 40, baby. Because these are two guys who could quite literally run the fastest time in Indianapolis. They could. And that's their ticket. Like, Barian Brown ran back 6 kickoff returns. They know he's fast. Chris Hilton, there is tape of him. It's limited, but you can turn on tape of like 6 times. He burns the whole defense. But these guys, it's not just, he ran a fast time. They could run the fastest time. And yes, it's important for them to change direction. And yes, it's important for them to catch the ball. And yes, it's important for Chris Hilton's medical to be good, which we understand it will be. And yeah, you got to go meet teams and all that kind of stuff. But these guys aren't first-round picks. They're just not. So go and be the fastest dude there. And I'm hopeful that they are in that ballpark. The 40 is the biggest deal for Barian Brown and Chris Hilton. Then I move to Xavier Thomas. To me, for Xavier Thomas, biggest thing for him is that 3-cone and that shuttle drill. The change of direction, the agility. He's going to run a good time. He's not going to run a Barian Brown, Chris Hilton time. LSU listed him at 5'10". If he's short of 5'10", I'm not going to be stunned. But what he did in college at Mississippi State and LSU was he ran punt returns back for touchdowns. He ran kickoffs back for touchdowns. He was asked to carry the ball this year for LSU in a running game that was terrible because he can carry the ball, change direction, make somebody miss, get out in space. The agility that he's got is his best attribute. So that's what he needs to show. Got to make sure you catch the ball. Got to run a decent time. Got to be able to get on the whiteboard and show some things. All that's important as well. But for Xavier Thomas, show me your 3-cone. Show me your shuttle. Show me how quick you can change directions. That versatility that he can show as just a general ball carrier is Xavier Thomas' best ticket to try to make an NFL roster. So that's what I think is the most important for him. Then you move to Bauer Sharp. Bauer Sharp's a good athlete. He played quarterback in college. He played tight end at 2 different SEC schools. He's okay in terms of his size. He's okay in terms of his speed. Neither one of those is going to improve drastically. What he has to improve, because this is on tape, he's got to catch the ball. So when they run that gauntlet drill where you're running down the yard line and they're firing at you from a different side every 8 yards, he's got to catch them all. When he goes out there and plays one-on-ones, you got to catch the ball. He needs to show hands. He was given the opportunity to do the things he did in college. Go play quarterback in the FCS, go play tight end in the FCS, go play tight end in the SEC. All of that was based on his size and athleticism, which are good. He's big and he's physical. He needs to catch the ball. And I think it's a big deal for Bauer Sharp to show that he can catch the ball with his hands. The tape's not great, and he has some fumbles on tape as well. Got to catch the football. I think that's the biggest thing for Bauer Sharp this weekend at the Combine. Patrick Payton is up next. To me, the best thing for Patrick Payton this week is that I think which this is rare, by the way, he's going to measure well. Like, most guys are listed improperly. Diego Pavia got thrown through the ringer at the Senior Bowl and all that kind of stuff. Patrick Payton is listed at 6'6", 255, and I bet you he's 6'5" or 6'6", and I bet you he's 255 pounds. He's just, I've been to practice. I've seen him. He's not 6'3". This dude is tall and long. And oh, by the way, 17 career college sacks. Not a great year in sacks at LSU, but there is college production, and I think the biggest thing for him is going to be look how big and long this guy is. If you're looking for levers, you're looking for leverage, you're looking for physical traits you can't teach, Patrick Payton has them. And in a weekend where a lot of guys, I mean, how many times am I going to hear about a quarterback's hand size this week? 7? How many times am I going to hear about, oh, this guy came in an inch and a half shorter? Constantly. I don't think that's going to happen to Patrick Payton, and that's going to be a feather in his cap. He's a big, big dude. The measurables are going to be a big deal for Patrick Payton this weekend. Jack Pyburn, same position. To me, Jack Pyburn's biggest thing this week is the position-specific drills with the edge guys. You've seen it. He's got to run that hula hoop. He's got to do the dip and bend because they know he's big. He'll bench press 1 billion. He'll be awesome in the interview room. I've interviewed Jack Pyburn. It's a hoot. He's great. He's focused. He's a football dude. He's a worker. He gives you great answers. Like, he will do great in that instance. And they'll look on the tape and they'll see, okay, he'll set the edge. He will plant his face mask in an offensive tackle's chest and stop the run. All that. Show me some flexibility. Show me some pass rush. He had 2 sacks at LSU after having only 1 in 3 years at Florida. So there was a little bit better, and I think Kevin Peoples teaches that a little bit. But hopefully Jack's had the ability to run around a hula hoop a bunch over the last 2 months. That's what he's got to show, a little bit of bend at the waist at the combine. And so I'm hopeful that Jack can do a little bit of that. I got 3 more here for LSU combine guys. Harold Perkins. To me, Perkins is going to run well. He's going to measure poorly. I think he's short, especially if you're talking about like an edge rusher. But he's got some production, and he's got some versatility. I think he probably needs to go into those meeting rooms and talk defense because he's shown he can rush the passer. He's shown he can run with running backs. He's shown he can cover a little bit around the line of scrimmage. He's got good hands. He's shown he can get up the field vertically and make plays in the backfield. He's played on the inside at linebacker. He's played in the slot. He's played on the edge. Like, he's got a lot of versatility. I think a defensive coordinator is going to want to say, okay, tell me about defense. And he probably needs to do well in the meeting rooms there, drawing it up on the whiteboard with as much as he's asked to do. Like Patrick Payton, probably not asked a lot on the whiteboard. Mansour Delane, probably not asked a lot on the whiteboard. They kind of know what their role is and what they're going to do. Harold Perkins has a lot of responsibility, and somebody is going to have to figure out how to use him. I think he's got to talk football with him. So for Perk, I think the whiteboard, the meeting rooms is a big, big deal for him. 2 more, both in the secondary. Mansour Delane. Biggest thing for him, I guess get out the tape measure because I'm not putting cleats on. I'm not running. I'm not jumping. I'm not benching. I'm not doing any of that. You want to see it? Turn on the tape. You want to see me run? Turn on the tape. You want to see me flip my hips, run? Turn on the tape. You want to see me bump and run? Turn on the tape. You want to see my ball skills? Turn on the tape. Like, the only thing Mansour Delane could do to hurt himself is he's listed at 6 feet tall by LSU. If they measure him and he's 5'10", that hurts. But I've interviewed him, and I don't think he's 5'10". They sit down when we do it, but they walk in the room. I never looked at him and thought he's short. I think he'll probably measure about 6 feet, maybe 5'11 3/4 or something. That's fine. He's listed at 6 feet. He's a great cover guy. Don't do anything. Don't put cleats on. Got to go through the measuring process. That's the only thing that can hamper Mansour Delane. He's a top 15 pick to me, hopefully top 10. So take it easy, Mansour. Last guy is A.J. Halsey. I'll tell you this. I saw A.J. Halsey the first day of spring ball. Sorry, fall ball. He didn't come for the spring. And I went, that guy's huge. And he is built solidly. He's not tall, but he's built. And if you look at the tape and you look at the stat sheets, he's stuffed them. He had 24 tackles in a game for New Mexico. He was in Big 12 Newcomer of the Year at Houston. He has made play after play after play. 10 interceptions in his career, 19 passes broken up in his career, a boatload of tackles, second on the team for LSU. Like, the production's there. The thing for Halsey, I think he needs to run well. I think he's got to run somewhere right in the neighborhood of 4.5. He's not going to be a 4.39 guy. He's a safety, and he's thick. But if he can run 4.49, 4.69, 4.49, 4.46, something around 4.5.
Hunt, if he runs a 4.4, he's might be a second-round pick at that point. I'm about to say
4.5 is the barometer, and if it's 4.52, like that's okay. You don't want 4.6. I misspoke on that, but like if he's around 4.5, that's the best thing for him because the production just speaks for itself. You know he can play. How fast is he? And that's a big deal. And he'll run again at Pro Day, I'm sure. But that's what I think it is for Halsey. So that's a look at kind of everybody on the 11-man list. I think there's some pros on this list. I think there's some guys that are going to struggle to try to make rosters. But I think there are some NFL dudes, and hopefully this is a great week for those guys up there in Indianapolis. All right, we'll take a time out. Chris Blair, voice of the Tigers, next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Make that short drive to St. Francisville. If you're in Baton Rouge, St. Francisville is 25 minutes. What's 25 minutes to save $11,000 off of a Chevy Silverado? If you're in Point Capee or West Feliciana, East Feliciana, maybe you're up in Baker, Scotlandville. Make that short drive to Fabry Chevrolet GMC. New ownership as of October 1st. You know the Fabry family. They've been at it for 35 years. Go by and see them. You're going to get great customer service, an unbelievable buying experience, and service after the sale. That's what's important to the Fabry family. That's why they've been in business almost 4 decades. They're so thrilled about this new point in St. Francisville on Highway 61. If you've been by there previously, it's under different ownership now. Go by and stop in, see the Fabry family. Get that Silverado up to $11,000 off MSRP on the Sierra on the GMC side, up to $13,000 MSRP as well. Short drive, great deals. It's Fabry Chevrolet, online at fabrychevrolet.com.
If your office is experiencing performance issues like slow networks, jammed printers, or disappearing files, Advanced Office Systems may be right for you. With powerful IT solutions, print management, document imaging, and security systems, they help offices regain confidence naturally. Side effects may include uncontrollable efficiency, smoother workflows, and a sudden burst of office joy. Say goodbye to those emotional breakdowns in the supply closet and get back on track with Advanced Office Systems.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lock Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool. The first time I saw this beautiful pool, it exceeded every expectation that I had. They were able to get everything we wanted in this pool. It is a beautiful pool. We live out here, we eat out here, we watch TV out here. This is like our living room outside. We love this pool and everything about it. When we decided to build our pool, we called a great friend who is one of the best pool builders in the country in North Louisiana, and we said, who would you choose to build a pool in Baton Rouge? And without a hesitation, he told us Russell Pools. He said their history, tradition of great builds, great pools was unmatched. So of course, who did we call? Russell Pools. The advice I would give to anyone looking to build a pool is first call Russell Pools. They'll do an incredible job. It'll be incredibly organized. It'll be time efficient, and you will have your pool in no time.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
Everything you need for a stunning garden is at the Plant Barn in Baton Rouge. From trees and shrubs to plants and pottery, the Plant Barn has it all at great prices. Visit us today on Valley Street, right off Perkins Road in South Downs.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Saints got an award yesterday. We'll talk about it coming up in 15 minutes. Chris Blair is the voice of the Tigers. He's with us on Thursdays. Joins us now on the Jim's Firearms Hotline. Chris, how are you?
I'm great. Good to be home.
Glad to see you at home. It's coming back with a win from Oxford, Mississippi. Plenty of seating available in the pavilion last night, it appeared, but they got the ones that were there got treated to a heck of a competitive game between two teams that have not given up, clearly. That had to be pretty evident from courtside.
Yeah, it was a really competitive game. I mean, obviously the team up in Ole Miss now 10 straight losses, so, it wasn't a capacity pavilion by any stretch of the imagination, although they try to make up with it with their stereo system. But you could tell. I mean, talking to Coach McKinnon Coach McMahon on Tuesday night had dinner with some folks from Ole Miss, and they were talking about how this is a team that's desperate to win, trying to break a 9-game losing streak. So you had a sense. I mean, I think everybody kind of felt like that this was going to be a game that would be highly competitive, and as it turned out, it was. It took 2 overtimes, and you went over the century mark, which is well above what both teams are accustomed to. And I understand that you got extra basketball to do it, but it was a competitive game, and I think LSU showed that they again. With all the downs of the season in conference play, with a 5-game losing streak, Hunt, it's still, this team has a really good feel about it. I mean, the guys are loose. They had a really good shoot around. The team is locked in. They spend a lot of time together. It's really evident for people who are around the team, especially on the road, that you would not sense it was a team that had really struggled in conference play and had a 5-game losing streak. And I think that's what helped them go out last night and get the win.
I also had a couple of guys that I thought 3 guys in particular were sensational in the game. McKinnon is where we'll start, obviously. He goes for 34, and he was shooting it great in the first half and then didn't settle for that in overtime and was just getting right to the rim and finishing. What did you like so much about Max's game last night?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a bunch of threes in that first half, scored 18 points and was pretty much unstoppable. And, Chris Beard, it's been a struggle this season, but he's a guy that knows how to put up some defense. And, you kind of felt like, all right, guys, we kind of knew Max was their leading scorer. We held Markel Sutton scoreless in the first half. Max goes for 18. Let's take Max away, make somebody else beat us. And pretty much through the second half, I think he only had 4 points, somewhere in that neighborhood, in the second half. It was overtime and in the second session, to your point, where it was like, I'm not going to settle for threes. You guys are going to switch on everything. I'm going to get a mismatch, and I'm going to put my head down and drive. And again, one of his biggest baskets was really, I think, the dagger on the little crossover move and the layup in that second overtime. That's when everybody got up and was headed towards the exits.
Out to the square. Another guy that I just can't say enough about is Jalen Reese, who's been thrust into this spot. 10 assists, 1 turnover last night. You've watched him every dribble. He probably wasn't ready in November. He looks it now.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, 11 points, a double-double with 10 assists. I don't have the numbers in front of me here, but you look at his last 4 games, averaging double figures, and his assist-to-turnover ratio is as good as anybody's in the league over that span. And you've literally watched him grow up. And one of the things, talking to the coaching staff, he was thrown into the deep end to start conference play with the injury to Don Thomas after he'd kind of been a complimentary guy in the non-conference. But he's a coach's son, played for his dad in high school, is confident in his ability, and I think that's what we've seen over the last 4 games. I don't think it was an issue of talent. I think he needed experience, and I think that experience would then give him confidence. And over the last 4 games, I think he's playing as confident. He and Max McKinnon are playing as confident as any players I've seen in the SEC. And we've watched him grow up right in front of our very eyes. And, his numbers, again, over the last 4 games, stack up against any point guard in the SEC.
Chance for LSU to rip off a couple here against some teams that are scuffling?
Yeah, I think it's certainly the opportunity. I mean, each game is got its own set of challenges. Obviously, Oklahoma coming in, they've been up and down. They played really well at times, and then they have really struggled at times. Not all that different, I think, from last year's team, to be honest with you. And, of course, LSU got that win in crazy fashion thanks to Cam Carter in the final seconds of the game in Norman last season. But, yeah, I think Oklahoma is a winnable game. I think if I've always said that if LSU, they're not going to shoot 50% or better from three-point land. Now, they've made a liar out of me the last couple of games, or the last couple of games, I should say. But the fact of the matter is, if they can get 8 to 9 threes and then continue to get their bread and butter, which is, Nwoko giving you 15 to 18 points, Markel Sutton, again, went scoreless last night. But, again, if he can give you 10 to 12 points, McKinnon, you start to see how there is a winning formula for this team. And it all comes down to consistency. They played a really good half, I thought, against Alabama. And even though they lost that game, they played pretty tough with a team that, again, on paper, talent-wise, should have blown LSU off the floor. I think they played pretty good in the second half against the Texas team on the road. I think it's just been a lack of consistency. Now, if you can get that, again, considering Markel Sutton scored 0 points last night and you scored 106, if you get 8 to 10 from Markel Sutton, I think Oklahoma's a winnable game. Auburn has been as Jekyll and Hyde as any team in the country. You're playing at Neville Arena. That's always tough. And then you get Texas A&M, a team that I thought you should have won in College Station. And again, I think you're a much better team now than you were kind of scuffling losing to Don Thomas in the opening game of conference play back on January 4th.
We'll see. Every game tough in the Southeastern Conference, but LSU got a win last night in Oxford. I know you were watching from afar as LSU played in Jacksonville last weekend. William Schmidt, one of his best outings as a Tiger. What did you think of him?
Yeah, no, I think he's right on schedule. I know we talked about him either last week or the week before that. He's got all the tools, and I liken him, last year. It's a little different when you don't get to, a pitcher's a little different than, say, a freshman guard in basketball or a freshman in any position in basketball. But I think it's a matter of experience and confidence in the same way I talked about Jalen Reese. And he's going to get there. In fact, he may already be there. I'm looking forward to seeing what he'll do the rest of the season. And I know, obviously it was a tough night. I watched a little bit of the game on Tuesday, and you could kind of hear the world shake a little bit, when that game went final. That was how big that was. But again, it's a 56-game season. You could tell Jay Johnson was quick to point out where the flaws were in the loss to McNeese. And again, I think, everybody wants to win every game, but there's no need to panic. LSU's full of talent, and we'll get to see it on display, and I'll get to see it first time this season with my own eyeballs coming up tomorrow.
Excellent. We'll have you on the call tomorrow. It was a tough Tuesday for the top 10. UCLA lost, Oklahoma lost, Arkansas got clobbered, and LSU lost to McNeese. It was a tough Tuesday. It happens in the midweek. We'll see if LSU can shake back on Friday, and Chris, you'll be there on the call. We appreciate it. See you at the box.
Yeah, man. Georgia Tech got throttled by their crosstown neighbor, Georgia State, on Tuesday. Things happen. Things happen.
It does. See you at the box this weekend, Chris.
You got it.
He's Chris Blair, the voice of the Tigers. Our Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. I give you Sean's number every single week. Give him a call, 719-1723. Of course, that's in the 225 area code because you're talking about local beef that's some of the best in the country. How about this? If you don't like it, you don't pay for it. That's the deal Sean's going to cut you. You're talking about some of the finest beef in the country. He sent me pictures and videos earlier today of some beef that was twice the standard of prime. That standard is on the IMF scale 9. This is 18.29 is what he sent me. He's dropping some off at Suffer Club today. You're talking about some of the best beef you will find anywhere in the country. And you can go up to Sagrera Farms and fill your freezer with half a cow, quarter cow, whole cow, and you're going to get them at really, really reasonable prices considering the rise in beef prices because Sean has not raised his prices. They have wherever you buy yours because of supply and demand. Well, Sean's got his supply. So go up there, check out the process, look at this incredibly marbled, tender, flavorful beef, and his promise, if you don't like it, you don't pay for it. It's an elite product that he's looking to get to local consumers here in South Louisiana. He's already got folks driving in from all over the country to get his product. He's got folks flying in from all over the country to ask him how he does it. He told me today when I was on the phone with him, it's not a big secret. It's just genetics. He's understood and mastered this craft to create some of the best beef in the country, and the consistency that he puts it out is truly remarkable. So go and by and see Sean at Sagrera Farms. Give him a call. As I told you, the number 225-719-1723. Sagrera Farms bring you our Thursday shows. Step aside, come back. What award did the Saints win? I'll tell you next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Safety's a big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age. There's someone in your life that's getting older. You feel like the bathroom might be a hazardous situation. Do what you can to mitigate that risk. Talk to David. Say, what do you do in these situations? He'll tell you. They do non-slip floors. They can put in some handrails in slippery areas. They can put in a walk-in tub that's more convenient, safer, more comfortable. They can put in a bench in the shower. You may not think about this stuff all the time, but if I'm mentioning it, you're going, oh, that might make some sense. Contact my friend David Duvall at One Bath and Closets. Go to the website, onebathandclosets.com. Get that free consultation. Say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about bathrooms. He is happy to do it. Financing available, 0% up to 18 months, same as cash. One Bath and Closets. Check it out online, onebathandclosets.com.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Cane's Box Combo, a symphony of flavors. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Getting chastised by my wife via text message. She's currently at the store.
Okay.
She's asking me whether or not we should go up a size on Keller's diapers.
Are they too tight?
I haven't noticed that.
Oh.
She does it more than I do, and plus he's at daycare half the day. But that's not the issue. The issue is that she asked me the question and then sent back like 4 minutes later, okay, good talk.
I'm on
the radio.
Yeah, I'm about to say I didn't even get a chance.
I'm on the air. It wasn't like I missed you for 6 hours. We got a show to do. Like, my job is really, really, really flexible from 7 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Totally
from
understand.
3 p.m. to 8 p.m., like, I'm around. If you need me to go run a quick errand, like, I can generally do something. That's a great thing about the gig. 1 to 3, I'm kind of tied up. I can't do a lot.
Unfortunately, I wholeheartedly understand what you're going through because my girl was mad because I said good morning a little too late this morning. So, I mean, like, I just don't, it's not like I'm deliberately ignoring you.
I sit back in all caps. I'm on air with the laughing emoji. She was like, yeah, I guess I know.
Yeah, you know, I'm just doing my job.
I can't answer about diaper sizes while I'm on the air.
Right.
Send me one at 10 a.m. I got you. I can get right back.
You know,
that made me chuckle. All right, let me tell you about Auctioner because it's heart health. Let's start that over.
Yes.
Let me tell you about Auctioner because it's Heart Health Month in February. Auctioner is happy to help you out with that. You know, heart disease is the number one cause of death for men and women. It's so often preventable. Do what you can to do small, consistent habits that can help you stay healthy. Stay active, exercise, eat a balanced diet, fruits, veggies, whole grains. Manage your stress. Try to get enough sleep if you can. Avoid smoking. Limit alcohol. And your primary care provider is your partner in prevention. They help you by monitoring blood pressure, cholesterol, overall heart health. So make your heart a priority this Heart Month. Schedule a primary care appointment at auctioner.org/brprimary and take those small steps today to lead to a stronger heart tomorrow. Check in with your doctors. You can find them at auctioner.org. That's auctioner.org. All right, the Saints got an award this week at the NFL Combine. Our guy Ross Jackson wrote this up, and it's encouraging. You kind of knew that this was very much a possibility, but now it's actually been put forward. Inside the League, which handles scouting and drafts, gave the Saints the award for the best draft in the NFL this past spring that has just finished its rookie year. You know the names now. It's Kelvin Banks in the first round, Tyler Shuck in the second round, Vernon Broughton and Jonas Sanker in the third round, Danny Stutzman in the fourth, Quincy Riley in the fourth as well, Devin Neal in the sixth, Molokai Matavau in the seventh, and Fadil Diggs rounding things out in the seventh. And they got rewarded best draft. And I think that's warranted. I'm not going to go through every NFL team's draft. I just don't really care that much who the Bills drafted. Not all that interested in who the Cardinals picked up in the fourth. Not my thing, but I know who the Saints picked up, and it's really good. And I started to think about what that group did in its rookie year. Obviously, you know Kelvin Banks started every game at left tackle. He was great. You know that Tyler Shuck emerged late and was awesome. You know that Jonas Sanker, Danny Stutzman, and Quincy Riley all made impacts in varying degrees, in varying roles on the defense. Devin Neal played a little bit when there were some injuries. Molokai Matavau was active down the stretch. And then you got Fadil Diggs, who didn't do a lot, but was on the roster. Like, you didn't cut him. So at this point, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks. 9 picks. And I would suggest the top 7 have a real chance to help you. And I'm not going to completely rule out Matavau and Diggs. Like, they're not busts. They're just late picks who are still around. Would I bet on them being impact guys for the Saints? Probably not. But it's like they're still on the team. And you look at the draft history of the Saints over the years, and I'll just read you out some drafts. It's pretty easy to, like, recall. But 2 years ago, Fuaga, Kool-Aid, Rattler, those are your top 3, but you didn't have a third or fourth round pick. And then you had Bub Means, nope. Jalen Ford, Christian Boyd, and then Josiah Zerum, who's gone. Like, your hit rate on that is probably Spencer Rattler's probably not going to be an impact guy for the Saints moving forward. Might be 2 guys out of that draft. You had 7 picks. I think 2 of them might stick. The year before that, Brzee, okay. Foskey, gone. Kendre Miller hasn't helped. Saul DeVary, depth piece, hurt. Hayner, gone. Jordan Howden, depth piece in the secondary. Okay, not a terrible 5th round pick. A.T. Perry, gone. Like, your hit rate's under 50% on that. Then you go back to Olave and Penning in the first round. Penning's gone. Alontae Taylor in the second. He's a guy that's probably going to be gone. Then you got DeMarco Jackson, nope. Jordan Jackson, nope. The year before that, Peyton Turner, nope. Pete Werner, okay, starter for you. Adebo, good pick in the 3rd round, absolutely. He's gone, but it was a good pick. Ian Book, no chance. Landon Young, depth piece in the offensive line. And then Kawan Baker, who, quite frankly, I forgot existed. 7th round pick from 2021, not an impact guy. The year before that, Cesar Ruiz. Okay, Zach Bond, you let him go. He's really good now, but you let him go. Adam Troutman, gone. Tommy Stevens, gone. The year before that, Eric McCoy. Yep, great. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, good player,
Great
but
pick.
gone. 4th rounder. Then Saquon Hampton, Alize Mack, Caden Ellis, who's gone. Like, you're missing on more than 50% every time. I mean, not without exception, you're missing on more than 50%. The year before that's Marcus Davenport, nope. Traquan Smith, nope. Rick Leonard, Natrell Johnson, Cameron Moore, Boston Scott, and Will Clapp.
Oof,
that's the worst draft maybe ever.
Oof.
The best NFL player on that list is Will Clapp, who was a depth offensive lineman for 3 different franchises. So for the Saints
well, that's kind of scary, huh?
I know it is, but let me be a little bit aggressive. Not conservative would be one way to do it. I'm going to be a little bit aggressive. I'm going to call Kelvin Banks a hit.
Yeah, we can go out and say
I'm going
that.
to call Tyler Shuck a hit.
Go out and say that.
I'm going to call Jonas Sanker a hit.
Playmaker.
He's going to play.
Yeah.
I'm going to call Danny Stutzman a hit. He's going to play. I'm going to call Quincy Riley a hit. That's 5. And I did not mention Vernon Broughton, who was a 3rd rounder because he didn't play. He was hurt. And I did not mention Devin Neal and then the 2 guys in the 7th round, Mataval and Diggs. But Neal could play.
Yeah.
I doubt it, but he could.
Show flashes.
But you almost certainly hit on 4, probably 5, potentially 6. That's pretty rare.
Yeah, especially Mickey Loomis. I mean, you just said the 2018 draft, so that means the 2017 draft was before that. So that's the scary part what I was getting at. So in 2017, he knocked it out the park. In 2018, he followed it up with one of the most worst class. The names you said in that 2018 draft, I almost threw up in my mouth.
Yep.
So you nailed 2025, and now we're looking at 2026. Well, you need to nail this one too.
Yep.
That's why I'm like, it's scary. Now I'm scared, Hunt. You went too deep into the draft class. I like
know,
that.
but let's focus on the positives. And now I'll tell you what I really think is going to happen with these guys. I think Kelvin Banks is going to be your franchise left tackle. I think Tyler Shuck's going to be your franchise quarterback. That is the first 2 rounds. They are mandatory hits. You must hit on the 1st and 2nd round every time. If you don't, you will fall behind. You will fail. They've hit those. I'm very confident of that. Broughton, I have no idea. Not a clue. So no idea there. Sanker, I think, has a better than 50% chance to be a starting safety on your team. Yeah. Better than 50%.
He showed a lot his rookie year.
Stutzman, I think with the way this DeMario Davis thing is going, there's a 98% chance he's on the roster this year, and there's a better than 50% chance he plays a ton this year as a second-year player. I think there's a 80% chance Quincy Riley's a starting cornerback for you moving forward. That's the first 4 rounds, but it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 picks, and 5 of them, I think, of the first 6 are in. They're
Starters,
in.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful what you saw in 3rd rounder Vernon Broughton, which you had a pretty good scout on him. Your defensive line coach coached him in college. Yeah. Like, that is not that big a reach, and hopefully you know what you got. And if Broughton hits, all of a sudden, that's like quite literally a transformative draft.
Yeah.
If that's the case. And that's not even talking about if Devin Neal becomes your 3rd down back, or if Mataval becomes a reserve tight end, or if Fadil Diggs can rush the passer. I don't have a lot of hope for that, but look, it's a 7th round pick. You hit on a 7th round pick once in a blue moon. There's just not a lot of Marcus Colstons running around out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brock Purdy last pick in the draft.
It just doesn't happen very much. But this is a great honor for the Saints. It's well deserved for the Saints, and it's a palate cleanser from a disaster that was basically 3 years. So well deserved by the Saints front office. Now go do it again. And I had the number with this draft at 4 starters. They're going to go past that. I would put the number on this draft at 3 starters, and I need one to make some Pro Bowls. I need 3 starters with the guy that makes some Pro Bowls, and I think you've remade the roster with the salary that's coming off the following year. With 7 starters from those 2 drafts, then you've got you got it. You can do it. You still have to evaluate the free agents and allocate the money properly. But I've because you did so well with this past draft, I've now lowered my standard for the next draft. That's how this works. You don't have as many spots. You had all the spots to fill last year. Well, now you filled 4, and there's free agency coming in the next offseason where you can fill more of those. So you grade on it a better curve when you hit on draft picks. Big deal.
And especially we just saw, again, the Seattle Seahawks won the Super Bowl this year, and their 2023 draft was, like you just said, a transformative draft. They sit there and hit all those picks, and a couple years later, you just get a quarterback and now you win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that's how the Saints can go, but that they won a Super Bowl. That's the model you need to be going after. Build your team through the draft. This draft is the most crucial one. You're playing with house money, but like you said, that first pick, you said the first 3, but number 8, he needs to be the Pro Bowler. Like, he needs to be the guy that needs to be the 3-time Pro Bowler, maybe an All-Pro. Like, he needs to be the guy.
But, Shuck, second rounder. I think there were some other good, like Paulson Adebo in the 3rd round. Yeah, C.J. Gardner-Johnson in the 4th round.
Yeah. Just don't do a
Marcus Williams in the 2nd round. Like, that's the best example. Like, you can get one in the 2nd round, but it's easier to do it in the 1st round. So hopefully they do it. You want me to go through all those drafts again?
No.
And we'll get a break, come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, go take a tour at Marucci. It's such a cool tour. It really is. Go see it. It's such a gem here in Baton Rouge. And the story, which they tell you on the tour, makes it even cooler. Like, it'd be one thing to go see where they make 1,200 bats a day that they ship off to the greatest players in the world. Like, that's a cool thing to see. But when you realize that just 2 decades ago, this thing started up in a backyard, it's just cooler. And that's what happened with Marucci. So if you want to go take a tour, whether it's you, whether it's your family, whether it's your family that's coming into town and needs something to do, whether you're talking about a youth baseball team, youth softball team, whatever the case may be, class field trip, that'll work. Marucci is happy to have you. Go to maruccisports.com/campus-tour. That's maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Every single ticket that you buy for the tour gets you a 20% discount to the Campus Tour store and the Hitter's House. It's time to load up that young softball player, young baseball player in your house with all the gear for baseball season. Marucci's happy to help you do it. And go take a tour while you're at it of Marucci. Check them out at maruccisports.com.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Investing in a new roof doesn't have to be overwhelming. At Pelican Roofing, we offer 0 interest for 21 months because everyone deserves a safe, secure home. Trusted, local, affordable. Pelican Roofing, making quality roofing affordable for South Louisiana families.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Gulf Coast Bank & Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank & Trust, the bank that cares about you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Sagrera Farms.
Thursday show is brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. We're closing up shop here. Unfortunately, some really, really, really sad news from the LSU and Louisiana Tech football families today. Devontae Lee, who was a former star at a meet, who came to LSU, played a couple years for the Tigers at safety and at wide receiver, transferred up to Louisiana Tech. And when he got to Ruston at Louisiana Tech, actually got diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer and beat it, rung the bell. And we learned today that he has died. I do not have confirmation as to what the cause of death was at this time. Obviously, when you're dealing with a person who's young and has had cancer, that's certainly a possibility, but I don't know what happened. But it has been confirmed by Louisiana Tech and LSU that Devontae Lee has passed away. So just an incredibly tragic situation for a young person who obviously was so talented, and heard from a number of people in the media that have dealt with Devontae. I never did personally, but saw Garland Gillen, saw Billy Embody, Jarrett Roser, even Derek Panamsky talk about him in glowing terms as an incredible young man. I watched a story that Garland Gillen did on Devontae Lee after he had beaten cancer a couple years ago, and was just full of life. His mom was so proud of him and spoke so glowingly of him. And so obviously far, far, far too soon for Devontae Lee, former A-Meet star, transferred to LSU and played at Louisiana Tech for a couple of years as well, has died, unfortunately. There's no easy transition out of that, but I did want to pass that along. Jeff Landry did pass along some positive news in regards to LSU football in Tiger Stadium early today, reading this tweet from the governor's desk. Big news for Tiger Nation. AT&T is investing $45 million to upgrade its network inside Tiger Stadium before the coming football season. When you have over 100,000 people in one place, you need service that works. So he credits the president, Dr. Wade Roos, and president of AT&T, David Aubrey, for the partnership. So it sounds like improved cell service for those in Tiger Stadium, thanks to the folks over at AT&T, and that's very, very good. Something I don't take for granted that I don't have to worry about too much because I'm hardwired in the press box. But I know y'all are down there in the heat of it, trying to get service, trying to get Twitter, trying to get social media, trying to get text messages and phone calls to stay in communication with people, and it can be tough when there's that many people there. So it sounds like LSU is making some moves to try to get that rectified with the folks over at AT&T. So positive stuff on that end. Let's play some Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, so it's NFL Combine season. You already know the measurements, the 40-yard dash, all that is coming out. So Miami edge rusher Ruben Bain checked in with 30-inch arms, or 30-inch and 7/8 arms, with a 77-inch wingspan, and he also came in a little bit short at 6'2". Also, Cassius Howell, A&M, SC Player of the Year, he measured him with even shorter arms at 30 inches and 1/4. These are the shortest arms for an edge rusher to be taken in the first round since 1999. So should this be a big deal? Take it or leave it?
I'll leave it.
Leave it alone.
Because it's not a big deal. It is a deal.
That's crazy,
those 6'7" tackles in the NFL have long arms. They'll get their arms on you. Now, you watch those two dudes.
Monsters.
They can go. Cassius Howell was a terror in the SEC, and Bain took over the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, look, we heard this with Will Campbell last year, and people concerned about that as well. And I'm not a talent advisor, but those two dudes, if I could get them in the middle of the first round, I'd feel like I got a couple guys that can impact a football team. I wish they were 6'5", trust me, but they're not. They can play though, and so I think I would risk it.
No, this will definitely be the litmus test. Them and Will Campbell of the arm length thing, and we're definitely gonna see how this plays out in the next couple of years. So the Pittsburgh Steelers received the worst overall grade in the NFL, the little annual player report cards, even though they got taken away. So it got leaked to ESPN, of course. The Miami Dolphins, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Washington Commanders were the top 3 highest.
Really?
Yes, those are the top 3 highest. And on the flip, Browns number 30, Cardinals 31, Steelers 32. So
if you told me. If you told me, give me 4 organizations that are definitely not last, the Steelers would have been in it.
Easily. So apparently with them is like super old facilities, none of the new top-notch stuff. So story franchise not taking care of their players. Take it or leave it.
I gotta take it, I guess. If literally the players are saying they're not, it would be hard for me to argue with the players who are actually there. I enjoyed my 2 nights in Pittsburgh. in 2011 when LSU played West Virginia, but I did not tour the facility of the Steelers that 15 years ago, so I can't necessarily speak to it. But yeah, that's stunning because you think of that as one of the shining lights in the NFL.
Steelers. Well, you know what that means, Hunt. You just say you haven't been there in 15 years. It actually still might have the same stuff.
That's true.
When you
did they fix the Saints cafeteria? That's what I want to know.
Well, apparently the Saints. Well, it was just leaked. They don't have the full thing. Trust me, I want to know. I mean, you can't be New Orleans and have a bad calf. That just doesn't go with.
Clearly they could because they pulled it off at one point, but they're supposed to put in a brand new one. And the media members all toured it, said it was great. So hopefully that's
so. That's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, our Thursday shows are brought to you by Sagrera Farms Premium Angus Beef. Some of the best beef in the country right here just north of Baton Rouge. Give Sean a call and go by and see him. Fill your freezer full of that beef from Sagrera Farms. All right, that's it for us on a Thursday. If you missed any of it, baseball, basketball, football, we talked about it all. You can find it on demand wherever you find your sound. Hunt Palmer Show. Matt's going to drive you home next on After Further View. See you tomorrow for a Friday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust started up in 1910. That's 116 years ago. They're still trucking and growing. 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So if you're looking for a bank that you can trust, First American Bank and Trust. Well, why can you trust them? Well, one, they've been at it for 116 years. I think they know what they're doing. Two, they've got 25 locations, so you know they've got the capital necessary, the resources necessary to handle your commercial loan if you're a business, your personal loan if you're looking for that home of your dreams. It's got that community feel. That's the thing with First American Bank and Trust. You're going to go in there and you're going to deal with people from Southeast Louisiana. If there's a decision to be made on your loan, it'll be made by people from Southeast Louisiana. And there's one near you. St. John, St. Lafourche, Terrebonne parishes, even up I-12, talking about St. Tammany, Tangipahoa. It's First American Bank and Trust. Stop on by and see them. When you do, you'll see somebody you know. You'll see somebody your kids go to school with. You'll see somebody you go to church with. It's First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust.
Hi, this is Beth Serena. Welcome to my pool.